of everything that is happening in Kansas City. We're going to be here every day letting you know what's happening in Kansas City and beyond your zip code. Starting things off right now with the Kansas City Company and a life lesson.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Yep. Lint knows what they're going to get. Russell Stover chocolates. It's the sweetest news of the day. Kansas City-based Russell Stover sold to Switzerland's Lindt chocolates. The deal makes it the third biggest chocolate maker in the U.S. behind Hershey and Mars. Mark Klegg joins us. This has been out all day, but you've been keeping track of all the new information today,
This is a big deal. It brings together two of the world's biggest companies when it comes to chocolate. And think about it, Lindsay, when it comes to Easter, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, when's the last time you didn't have one of these two brands in your house? Now they're going to be coming together as one. And new since noon today, we've got some new information about the value of this deal. Now, it's being valued at about $1.5 billion. Those specifics of the deal remain under wraps this afternoon. You recall this all started back in February. That's when the Ward family put the company up for sale. They started shopping it around with Goldman Sachs. Chocolate over the years has become such a high-end product, all sorts of gourmet infusions. But Russell Stover and its box lines of chocolates have remained staples for decades, not changing very much over the years. Also, Lindt has a history that dates back decades. They've been in business since the late 1800s, based right outside of Zurich, Switzerland. So very interesting deal as we're talking about this. And we should mention, too, that there's not just these two brands that are coming together here. You've got the Russell Stover and the Lindt as well. But back in about 1993, Russell Stover bought one of its biggest competitors, Whitman's chocolate. And in fact, the Whitman sampler, my grandmother always had that at her house. That has actually become their biggest selling product, and it's actually being served to people who visit the White House or Air Force One. So, big news in chocolate, and I think a lot of people are probably going to eat more chocolate today talking about all this.
A lot of pride. My grandma worked there.
Did she really?
A lot of history in Kansas City with Russell Stover.
Yeah.
Mark, thank you so much. They have been around a really long time. The company was founded in 1923 by Russell and Clara Stover in Denver. The first store opened in Kansas City in 1924. The first factory opened in KC in 1928, and 4 years later, all company operations relocated to Kansas City. In 1960, the Stover family sold the business to Lewis Ward for $7.5 million. 2,700 people work for Russell Stover across the country. So Russell Stover, the latest in a string of hometown favorites bought by overseas corporations. Look at these. We're talking about Boulevard. Remember that sale? Of course, Sprint and AMC. Several corporations from overseas buying several hometown names, Kansas City companies that we know and love. Christa Dubill is here in the newsroom. You've been running down the numbers for these sales.
Yeah, we've been talking about this. So AMC Theaters 2012 is when it really got started here for our local companies. Chinese firm Dalian Wanda Group bought it for $2.6 million. We actually went and looked up Sprint too. It was mid-2013. Japanese firm SoftBank, we've heard a lot about them, $20 billion. And then Boulevard, October 2013, so just not long ago, Belgian brewer Duval Mortgat is estimated $100 million. They haven't disclosed the details of that deal, but that's what the estimated value is worth on those three, and now Russell Stover.
And now Russell Stover. I know. Our first thought all over town was kind of like angst, right? We were worried.
It's kind of a Kansas City thing.
It is, apparently, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Christa. So it's been a trend in Kansas City. We wanted to know from a local economist, why is this happening? Why all these buyouts? And are they a good or a bad thing? Well, turns out they can be a really good thing. And this is why. There are three kinds of corporate buyouts, and ours is the best kind. The first up, competition. Sometimes when a company buys out another company, it's simply to get rid of a competitor, especially if they're in the same country. That means the operations from the tiny company bought might be moving. That's not happening in this case. The other one is restructuring. There you buy a struggling company, you fix it up, and you either sell it off for profits or you keep it as part of your own. That's not happening in Kansas City either. The best kind, new market buyouts. That's when a big company from overseas or another country buys in a brand new market they don't have any presence in, like America. What better way to get your foot in the door in American chocolate if you're Lindt than to buy Russell Stover's? That's exactly what's happening with Sprint, AMC, Boulevard as well. As far as we know, Russell Stover is staying in place. Lindt is just going to be the big guy behind the curtain. So Russell Stover, just one of those many companies that may actually be gobbled up sometime this year. That was the big prediction, and it turned out to be really true. Take a look at this. According to a website, Wall Street 24/7, they had other examples too. They predicted Time Warner Cable, Comcast working to buy them right now. AT&T is trying to buy DirecTV. And Tyson just bought Hillshire Farms. That deal should go through by the end of the year. At least one well-known company actually could disappear, though. That's because it's just not doing as well as it once was. We're talking about Lululemon. The company's stocks and sales are down, and this website has been making these decisions for 5 years now. They have a 50% success rate so far. They're right about Russell Stover getting bought, right? A popular teen clothing store also on that list. You can find which one of those it is on our website, kshb.com/thenow. So this Russell Stover